watched in 21 places, so 3, and then another 21 is obviously 24 places. So, and they explain what the 24 places are. At the end of this, I will show you a picture so we can visualize exactly what the places are. But very generally, it was by every single entrance. So the Harabayas had 5 gates that had guards, and then the Azara itself had 5 gates as well. That's 10. 1 by each corner. Actually, I think it's about to know. Maybe one of them first to explain. Like when you want to watch out for thieves, you put a guard by each corner, right? Because the corner you're able to see 2 sides. So they had a mamish like in a respectful way. There was 1 by each corner, and then there's 4 corners to the outer wall going into the Harabayas. I'll show you soon. Actually, might as well just so everyone can visualize what we're saying. Just jump into the picture. So this is very simply the Harabayas, right? So this is the wall that's all around the Beis Hamikdash. So you see that there's 1 by each gate. We're going to zoom in soon to count them. You'll see why soon. And then 1 by each corner. And then the smaller wall encircling the Azara itself also has 1 by each gate. We're going to speak about how there's in fact 7 gates, but 5 of them had guards. And then 1 by each corner, that's 18. And there are these 3 rooms, which we're going to discuss what they were used for, which had Kohanim and Levim as well. So 18 plus 6 is going to be 24. We're going to get into that a little bit more soon. But first, let's start off with the question. So we said there's 24 places. And now, when you're trying to analyze what the 24 places are, you look and you say that the Levim were in 21 places, but actually, there were 24 places that needed to be guarded, and each one of those places had a Levi guarding it. Okay, so there's 24 places needed to be guarded. Each one of those places has a Levi, and we're going to prove that from a pasuk in Divrei Hayamim. Each one of those places had a Levi, and yet we say that the Kohanim watched 3 of the places. So we're stuck a little bit. There's only 24 places to watch. Leviim are in every single one of those 24 places, so that's 24. And then the Kohanim also need to watch 3 places. So do we have 27 places, 24 people, 27 people? What exactly is going on? The numbers get confusing. Just to show you how confusing the numbers get, I have to zoom out the screenshot just to be able to catch all of it. Where is it here? There it is. This is a screenshot of the Mishnah Lamelech on the Rambam, where he goes on and on and on and on, basically asking this question. And I'll start off with the answer, and then we'll analyze it a little bit deeper. The simplest answer that you can say regarding this is that in fact 24 places, and therefore the Mishnah says there's 24 places to watch, because there were 24 places to watch. You can't argue with that. There's 24 places. Elamai, 3 of those places had a Kohen watching it. We're going to explain soon because, and a Kohen Levi watching it as well. You can't have a place without a Levi. But wherever you have it already, Levi there was actually like like an assistant. He was on a lower level. So through that we can answer the Mishnah. What the Mishnah says, the 24 places were watched. That's a fact. There are only 24 places that were watched. And then there are in fact 27 people technically watching it, because 3 of the places had 2 people. Okay, so that's where we're holding so far. I'm not going to read the whole Mishnah Malach on the side. I'll read you the relevant 2 lines over here. So he explains over here that in the first Mishnah of Midas it says, Levim Shemil Maila, Velvim Mata. So I explained over here that there was first explained that there was a higher place and a lower place. And here it says that when the Mishnah says that there were 21 places, that's a smag that says that of the 24 places, 21 had only Levim, and then behind the Gimel accounts there were 3 places that they were with Kohanim. Okay, so this is what the Mishnah now finally proves. Again, that's 3 lines out of quoting. I only was able to screenshot about half of the Mishnah Malach on the smallest font they have, but he definitely asked the question. So it's a well-known question. It's not just a question that a few people ask, and that is the answer that he gives. But then, when you want to analyze exactly what that means, again, so according to what this is saying, it seems like there's 24 places that are watched, and then 3 of the places have a Kohen and a Levi. So that basically would answer the question, how can the Mishnah says that there's 3 Kohanim watching, and then 21 Levim watching, while from the pasuk, I didn't show you the pasuk yet, the pasuk seems to say clearly that the pasuk says that there were 24 Levim. It's a pasuk in Divrei Hayamim. Sorry. here. So then I'll keep jumping. I'm sorry, I cannot find it right now. Maybe I closed it. No. Okay. Can't find it right now. Anyway, there's a passage that says that there's 24 Levim and 3 of the places have Kainim. Now, being that I first came across this question while learning the Mishnah in this beautiful English Mishnah, which has lots of pictures, so the first thing I did was analyze the pictures to try to visualize exactly where the 24 people are. So they're very helpful over here. They show you that the dark people over here are the Levim and the white ones are Kayanim. So they're very helpful, and they say, listen, there's an outer wall over here, and the outer wall of Kulei Alma has 5 gates. So each of those gates is watched by a Levi. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Like we said before, by every corner, it's essential to have a guard if it's not covered. So the 4 corners are covered as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the outer walls have 9 people, 5 plus 4. Then let's look at the inner walls. The inner walls as well have obviously 4 corners. Corners you can't have more than 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. But then gates, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The Ma'ariv wall did not have a gate. So there's 7 gates. These 2 middle gates did not have a Levi, so therefore there were 4 Leviim by the corners and 5 by 5 of the 7 gates. So that equals 18. 9 for the outer walls, 9 for the inner walls. Where are our last 3 Leviim? Let's start with. So they say that and this is the simple explanation of the Bartanura. Before getting into Mishnah Lamelch, they say that there's 3 Leviim, one over here, one over here. Okay, by these 2 lishkas, which in fact 2 Leviim here, and a Kayin. Let's zoom in. This is number 6, which is the Beis HaMaikid. So in the Beis HaMaikid there was a Kayin and then 2 Leviim. And then they say that the last Levi, again, so we have 18 plus, these Leviim are watching these gates. So those are counted already. And then you have Levi number 19 over here. Levi number 20, sorry, I forgot about this one. Levi number 20, it explains was behind the Kodesh HaKodashim. And then 21, where's number 21? They put him here on the side. Sorry, how can I move over there? Here, number 16 over here, they say that the Lishkas HaParechas did not have, they don't know exactly where it is. It looks like it's where it is. Anyway, that's 21 Leviim. The problem with this, as we can see clearly, is several problems. First of all, if you're going to say over here that how are there in fact 24 Leviim, like the Pasuk proves 24 Leviim, is because everywhere there was a Kayin, there was a Levi as well. According to the way that it's explained, and this is from the Bartanura. If you read the Bartanura, this is accurate. They didn't make it up. There's already a Levi near every Kayin, because the Kayinim were by these lishkas, which were by a gate. In fact, here there were 2 Leviim, because there was an offshoot of I forgot what this lishka is called. Which one's this one? Number 8. How do I move over here? Number 8. Yeah. Was it called the B'cheres? I forgot. Sorry, I forgot the Hebrew. What this is Karbanis? Okay. So here, in fact, there's already 2 Leviim with the Kayin. So according to the way the Mishnah Malach is explaining it, that everywhere there was a Kayin, there's a Levi already. There is already a Levi here, and it's already counted in the number 21. According to what he's saying, apparently there would have to be an additional Levi in those 3 places, which would mean that in here, for example, in the Beis HaMaikid, there would be 3 Leviim with 1 Kayin. So, like I said in the beginning, it's Tein L'Chacham Yachkamayid. I don't have an answer, and obviously this is not really a question. You could say that the Mishnah Malach completely disagrees with the way the Bartanura divides where they are, although this seems to be exactly what the Mishnah is saying. But just to show you that when you read the Mishnah, you can't really just take it at face value, because our Mishnah says that there's 5 gates, and they already show over here that there's 7, because if you look 2 Mishnahs later, this is Mishnah Aleph, if you look 2 Mishnahs later, there is 2 Mishnahs later already, we're going to see that there was, so let me zoom it over here. In Mishnah Dalet, it already explains that there were in fact 7 gates, right? So 7. 2 of the gates didn't need guards either because they weren't really used. No one used to go into them, so you didn't have guards. So when the Mishnah says there were 5 by the 5 gates, you have to take it with a grain of salt because either it's a machlekes. Most people say it's a machlekes. Tanakama holds there were only 5 gates, and according to the opinion in Mishnah Daled, there were in fact 7 gates. And according to the opinion of Mishnah Daled, that holds there 7 gates, he still agrees with Mishnah Aleph that only 5 of the gates were watched. So l'chayr, it's a little bit hard to say that according to the Mishnah Melch, you could maybe add a guard by the gates. And if you thought that wasn't complicated enough, if you look a little bit further, where is it over? That in fact, if you look later, some people count out 13 gates by the Azars, and they say that maybe 6 of them were smaller. So again, I don't have the full answer. I don't know if, according to the way I understood Mishnah Melch, 27 people involved over here, 24 Leviim, and then 3 Kainim. Do they all take a watch by the same gate, like by the Lishkas HaKarbanis? Are there in fact 3 Leviim there and then 1 Kain? Are they watching by other gates? I'll leave that to people who maybe are ma'ayin a little bit more. I think we have a little more time. They can in fact come up here and perhaps enlighten us. But in the meantime, it just shows us how, Baruch Hashem, there's incredible amount of very interesting things to learn in simple halakhos based abchira. Just to really understand what, like when you learn Gemara, you have machlekes b'metzias, like what exactly happened. Here it's our base of Mikdash, and it seems to be there's machlekes about how it actually looked. Anyway, Ritz Hashem, we should have to base of Mikdash, and at least that's what we're able to see with our eyes and understand where everything is.
Shkoyach, David.